Here we go. Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to this session. In today's session I'm going to be covering and recapping 6 live trades with 5 wins and 1 break even. If I keep looking over to my trading dome, it's because I am short in another trade, which actually let's have a quick look before it finishes, because I also may choose to get to break even. So this is what I call a breakout pullback trade. So I actually entered over here. I went down and I hit the low of day and then I bounced. I was looking to actually get down a couple of ticks below the current day's low. We tend to what I call stair step our way down at this stage. I'm just hanging in there, but I will go to break even when I hit the low. Let me just once I hit this low, I expect we will push through, but I'm going to go to break even plus 2 ticks. This has now made this what we call a no risk trade. Generally when we hit, and maybe this isn't going to happen, but generally when we hit a low, we'll push through by 2 or 3 ticks. Just depends on the market that you're actually trading. So the high or high of day, low of day, we can generally rely on the market ticking through by a couple of ticks. I've gone to break even and locked in 2 ticks, so this is a risk-free trade. Now what's below me here, miles away to the next pivot, so a very good chance, and there we are now filled. Now whilst we're here, I may as well just show you the trades of the day I've already made and been trading today. So this is we've just rolled over past midnight, our Central Standard Time. So if we just go back, going back to around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, I had 3 trades for 3 wins. I've actually recorded these. I'll do a session on these another time, but let me just get that out the way. Over here I took a really sweet divergence trade down to the pivot. I then look, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I was considering entering here, but decided to enter a mechanical entry, a pattern-based trade called a T10, rallied up to the pivot. I then entered this as a 2D pivot trade and down we went. So we were actually up 38.69.20 at that stage. Now with this particular trade, we're now up 49.60. That's after any commissions. So that was what, 4 out of 4 and a good session. Now that was, if we weren't in this trade, we just had another really good setup. You see, this is a real danger zone when we have flat major EMAs, as you can see on the chart here in front of me. So what do I look for to confirm either a trend continuation or a reversal? It's very tempting to take and trade straight breakout trades, and the reason I don't like to do that is we might, for an example, get out, we think, okay, we're going to head low here, but then we whipped up, we come down, we stop there. Are we going to go long? The best and the safest way I trade is whenever I'm in a consolidation zone is to look for what I call a breakout pullback or a breakdown pullback, as we had just there. Now we did come down, we only came down 7 ticks. I was after 9 ticks there, and you can see we've continued to punch right through that level down to the pivot. Now one might say, well, why not stay with the trade? Why not trail the trade? I'm a big one in POQ, power quitting and having fixed targets. Get in, get out, get paid. Now if I was to continue to trade, we just had a really nice trade set up there. However, I would have been selling straight into the pivot. We actually call these pivot magnet trades. Now there's a number of rules to a pivot magnet trade, but they're very mechanical, and you'll generally find that they're about a 90% winner. But you're not only looking at your entry chart, as we can see here, we're also considering what's happening on a higher time frame, and this is what we call our anchor chart. Now the reason we need to be so cautious when we sell or buy in the pivots is what we're sort of witnessing at the moment. when we sell into a pivot, pivots are fantastic support resistance levels, where unlike say the low of day or the high of day where we're more likely to push through, some pivots you will, but we're much more likely to also have a bounce, and this is where that bounce could come up and then stop us out. So let's get back to our and just like we're seeing right here now where we've got this pivot bounce. In fact, for members watching this, yes, this is a T3 setup. Now you may be thinking, what on earth is a T3? A T3 is a reversion to the mean setup, and the great thing about a T3, as we're seeing here, it's pulling back nicely. And by the way, back to anywhere from our gold EMA up to the cyan, we've got to be careful because we could bounce back to the short side anywhere there. However, T3s are great for scalping, and members, yes, a potential T10. So all of these are patterns, and we as humans are very good at identifying patterns. So let's get back to this PowerPoint so I can play back the other recording for you and show you all of the trades live. So in this session we're going to be looking at trading the ES, 6 trades, 5 wins, 1 break even. And one of the questions may be, can you really do this? Absolutely. I'm going to show you how to do it. As always, I do need to just briefly mention, and if I keep looking away, I keep looking at what's happening on the market here. There is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Now I've got a special offer for you. This is seriously the first video I've ever offered this offer where, excuse my grammar, wasn't great grammar then, but you can attend one of my 2-hour live coaching sessions absolutely free. And I'm going to pause it right there because I want to show you something else. Okay, so here we go. So as I mentioned, this is first time offered. I run both the live trading room and coaching sessions for traders. And see here for July I've got the 294 registered and 295. Now these are all full-time members, or they're subscribed members. However, I want to teach you how to master the art of scalping and day trading. What a better offer by having you come and attend a 2-hour session where you get to see there's no selling in these sessions because I'm training all of my traders, as you will see. So if you click on the pop-up you're going to see very shortly, you'll get an invite to attend one of the sessions, and on top of that, twice a week I'll deliver you one of these videos. Well, twice a week, 2 videos a week on where I'm going over and recapping my trades of the day. So back onto this one. Today's trading we've already spoken about. So in this particular session we're up 3,600 on 6 trades, and let's before we go to the recording, I just wanted to bring this up. We are money managers. This is where so many day traders, they get blinded with so many things they see on YouTube or on the internet about trading. Your number one job here is capital preservation, and to do that correctly you've got to follow the 2% rule. That is, we never ever risk any more than 2%. So if you've got, say, on the 2-tick Renko, which I'm trading here today, a stop of 10 ticks, that's $125. That means you need 6,250 to trade it correctly. You may not fully understand this at this stage, but that's my job as your coach to teach you this. Now you can actually start off with trading the micros, that is the 10% of the value, where in this case you only need here 6,250. I want to show you how quickly you can compound that realistically. How my compound tables work is you only start trading an additional contract after you double your money. That is, if you need 625 to trade this correctly, when you've now up to 1250, you start trading a second contract. When you get another 6 25 you start trading a third contract. What this has the effect of doing, in around 11 weeks you've got the potential then, besides having an income of around 1,800 a week, you've then got around 7,500 in your account, which then means you can roll over and start trading the big contracts using the market's money. Even if you've got for 6 to 10 $20,000, you start on a micro, you cut your teeth on first of all the simulator, then the micro account. Here's the massive effect of 350 a day. That's my target, and you'll see I've usually hit it in nearly every case within 30 minutes to 1 hour. How do you do this? Well, here that's 4 8-tick trades a day after any losses, of course. Within 10 weeks, or in this case 9 weeks, you got the potential of around a 10,000 a week income, plus your account's 45,000. For the young guns that want to keep building their account, there's your 24,000 a week income in only 12 weeks. Or if you wish, you go for an extra $150 a day. Look where you are in 6 weeks, 12,000 a week, basically in 8 weeks, 25,000 a week. Now my job is to show you now, how do you do that? You see, when you've got a compelling future, a big enough why, the how will appear. So all we need here is 6 8-tick trades a day. So rule number 1, if you're a brand new trader, have never traded before, I recommend you only trade with the trend. I'm not sure how many CT trades, counter trend trades I have here, but what's important, we're looking for retracements, then trades back in the direction of the trend. So let's go to the recording. Let me pull this up and let me explain the trades and why I've taken these trades. Now first of all, let me pause this here. First of all, I want you to notice the trend, and I've got a term, follow the gold. See the gold EMA. Now it doesn't matter which trading platform you use. If you say TradingView, I've got some members that have sent in their codes or their indicators for that, but I give you the settings for all of my indicators so you can set up and model what I do on any good trading platform. If you're trading with, say, NinjaTrader, you just get my templates and all of my indicators are free. If you've got say TradeStation, I give you my indicators for free, and there's a couple of things there that I may not have coded. Either way, you've got my indicators now, or the settings I should say. Note here we've got an uptrend, okay, and I'm just looking up, and sure enough the market's heading to the long side after bouncing off the pivot. So I'd already taken the trade here, and I took a trade just here, and I exited this trade up here. Now what I'm doing just here, sorry, is I'm going short, or I've gone short. Let me pause this. This is the secret sauce. First of all, what can you see on the higher time frame? Now this is a counter trend trade, experienced traders only. Here I've got a higher high, and on my anchor chart I've got divergence, and here I'm going for a larger target. And there's logic behind these targets. That is, we know what our target is, unless you're going to trail. I prefer to have a fixed target. Nothing worse than, you know, you're trailing and it whips back, stops you out. Look, once again, for me, I want to get in, get out, get paid. Now I'm taking some heat here. I'm short. My stop is 2 ticks above the swing. My stop is never bigger than 10 ticks. Here I could cut it down to 9 ticks, but here it is 10. If I've got a lot of volatility in the market, and it's not looking good for me here at the moment, is that I'll keep with my 10 tick stop just to give it some wriggle room. So we're heading up to this high, and I might just move this along a little quicker. And does it go and test me up to the high there? Test the high? No, it looks like I'm heading back down again just here. Now also, if I'm after 10 ticks, which is sort of my average, between 8 and 10 is my average target, once I hit +8, I'm in the money 8 ticks, I'll then go to break even. That is my entry price. So here it's going back up. Now what I want you to notice here is I'm not moving my stop. Counter trend trades are always higher risk, and you can see here I'm up at the pivot. This is the current day's high, by the way, and I've gone short for some very good reasons, and my 10 tick stop has actually kept me in at this stage. Now I do know I end up having no losses with this particular trading day. So now we're coming down here, maximum stop here, as I pointed out as I was trading. Down we come, and I'm out at this level. So that's trade number 3. Now follow the goal. We can see the gold EMA at this stage. So we've got a deeper retracement, a deeper pullback. Once again, traders, one of my secrets here is everything I trade here is all based upon a pattern, and we are very good as humans in identifying patterns. So let me move this along to our next setup. Here I'm looking to sell. Now here, when I look at selling here, I'm just going to point out here that I had a 10 tick kept me in. See where I've put my entry just here, and now I'm filled. That was based upon a very specific thing I'm looking on the higher time frame, a simple pattern. And so it tells me exactly where to put my entry. And so we're going short, and you can see way down here I've got a much larger target, and it's just above the pivot. Now it was actually quite slow here at one stage there, and I think it then ends up picking up. Now I'm just pointing out, see that black EMA? I've been day trading now for 28 years, and I discovered some years ago a formula of taking higher time frames, or EMAs from a higher time frame, and applying them on lower time frames, and they act as price magnets and also major support resistance levels. And we tend to bounce off these, like just there, we bounce off these all the time. But how we trade them is we treat them as price magnets, but then you can treat them as support resistance levels. Okay, so we're now punching through. Remember, follow the gold. What do I say that? Look at the gold EMA here. We can be taking all the trades in the direction of the gold. Now we've rolled over, and just note here that's 8 ticks. $1,000 is 8 ticks. I'm locking 2 ticks in, so if it does come up and stop me at least we're at break even. And sometimes you will get slippage. That is, in some trades yesterday, not the one an hour ago, a couple of hours ago, but for Monday for me, I actually went to break even at +2, and the whole idea there is you pick up something and it covers your commissions. I actually got 2 ticks full slippage. That is, I got out at exactly break even. But the whole concept in going to break even plus 1 or 2 ticks, hopefully pick up a little bit of profit, but to cover your execution costs. So we can see here I've brought my stop down, so I'm sort of looking at this. Okay, if I get stopped here, I get stopped. I bring in my target up. Now you'll usually see me do that if I'm right at a pivot, which we are just here, or if I'm about to hit my daily target of 3.5. So we'll just see what happens here. So I'm bouncing just here, and once again my target is not far below, and there we go. So we go down, then hit my target, but guess where that is? Straight at a pivot. And look how you're bouncing off the pivot. Traders, trading pivots, they're a self-fulfilling prophecy, because as professionals we buy and sell into them every single day. Now there at one stage, and I pretty much skipped, I was trying to keep this to 15 minutes, we're now up to 22 minutes, is that be very careful selling too close to pivots, because you can bounce. And I was a little bit worried there. If we go back to that, let me pause this. I actually typed up at the time that an expensive mistake, because that was close, because I went down, hit the low, that pivot, and then it bounced, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get stopped out of this, which meant I'm going to have to take another trade to then hit my daily target. But then it filled me. I picked up the couple of ticks I required, then we bounced. Now this may sound like a lot very quickly, traders. This is not rocket science. It truly isn't. Anyone with that burning desire can master the art of day trading. It ain't rocket science. Now make sure you click on the box with the pop-up where it says you can attend one of my free sessions, and why don't you come and join me as a member? For only $297 you have lifetime access to my members area, which is incredible. It's probably the most comprehensive website or members area for scalpers and day traders. There are literally dozens of modules, but the great news is you only need to learn 2 of my core setups, and $297 includes any product upgrades, any ongoing development. There's new videos each week, plus you get 1 month free to 8 of my 2 sessions on top of the free 2-hour one, plus you get to attend 12 live trading room sessions where I'm taking trades and teaching traders how to trade live in the room. The number one purpose of a live trading room is to teach you how to trade the trades as they set up. So you get 12 of those as well. So you've got 20 2-hour live sessions. They are recorded, all for $297 plus, and you're not signing up for anything else, plus you have lifetime access. So traders, hope to see you on one of my sessions very soon. Let me teach you how to scalp and day trade the markets. Thank you, traders.